Hello and welcome to yet another IndieTale YouTube video brought to you by the International Cooperation Center of Taipei Computer Association, where we bring topics important to your business in detail. In today's video, we are going to talk about IPR, that's intellectual property rights and regulations in India, that a Taiwanese company should be aware of while doing business in India. I'm Premjit, your host, and today, to talk about the topic, I have with me Mr. Rajesh Vallakkat, partner of Fox Mandal Associates, a leading lawyer with more than 2 decades of professional practice in areas of intellectual property, technology laws, investments, and security laws. Hello, Mr. Rajesh, and welcome.
Thank you, Premjit, for this opportunity, and happy to interact with your audience.
Our pleasure. To begin, can you please briefly describe India's IP laws and regulations, and how strong is it compared to other leading global markets?
Oh, Indian law is at par with all major developed economies. Why I say so? Because we are part of all international treaties relating to intellectual property rights. We are part of TRIPS agreement. We are a signatory to WIPO. We are a signatory to Paris Convention. We are a signatory to Patent Cooperation Treaty. We are part of Madrid Protocol. So all major international treaties we are very well part of, and our substantial laws are amended to meet with this international requirement. So we are at par with all major developed economies in the world.
Okay. So for a Taiwanese company, what are the legal as well as regulatory aspects one should keep in mind when doing business in India? Please consider 2 cases. Case 1, for those who have a physical presence in India, and case 2 for those whose products are sold in India through a dealer or an authorized reseller.
Anyone doing business in India should be bothered about protecting their IP in our country. As you know well, intellectual property rights are territorial rights. So even if your products are protected well in Taiwan or other countries, it may not give adequate protection in our country. You need to go for registration of your IP in our country, whether it is patents, whether it is trademarks or designs or integrated circuits. All these IP rights are territorial rights. So you need to go for registration in our country. The standards of registration or the processes for getting the registration is similar to all other countries because, as I mentioned earlier, we are part of the international treaties and the processes and procedures are one and the same. So you need to go for registration, irrespective of whether you have operations in India or whether you deal the products in India. But when you are having a subsidiary company or your own offices here, you need to be more careful about protecting this. I'm not saying that when you sell your products to agents or distributors, you need to have adequate agreements with them. You need to ensure that the IP belongs to you, and what is allowed by them, what is not allowed should be spelled out very clearly in the agreement, in addition to the registrations you take. So you need to have contractual precautions or remedial measures to be taken, and you need to have statutory registrations obtained in our country. In both instances, I would say that equal importance to this.
Okay. So, so what are the remedies a Taiwan company has in case their IP is infringed, and also if they happen to infringe on another's IP?
Oh, IP infringement is a civil wrong as well as a criminal. So infringement can happen accidentally, then it may not constitute a criminal offense, but it will still amount to an infringement and a civil action is possible. So the remedial measures is to go for an injunction suit restraining the wrongdoer from continuing this activity. You can ask for damages. You can claim compensation for the wrongs happened. So if somebody in India is infringing your IP, ensure that your IPs are protected in our country so that you have an actionable right. Once you are determined that you have an actionable right, go against them for an infringement action in the form of a civil suit for recovery, for restrict an injunction order, as well as for damages if their wrongdoing is substantial in nature. In case if they are willfully doing it and you can find some kind of a malafide in their conduct, then probably we can even file a criminal case. In case, assuming that your Taiwanese companies are alleged to be infringing an IP in India, if it is accidental or without adequate understanding that there is an infringement case, interact with the IP owner, have a negotiated settlement, withdraw the product from the market immediately, have a discussion with them and resolve the matter, rather than, I would not recommend for fighting a case in India because the process is dilatory here. So an amicable resolution is most appropriate. So both the civil action and criminal actions can be exercised in either instance. But if a Taiwanese company is the infringer, the immediate resolution is to oppose the IP owner, have a negotiated settlement. The suits are filed in civil code. So we have hierarchy of courts. We have civil courts, district courts, high courts, and supreme courts. So all IP infringements are filed in civil courts, where generally it should be filed at the place where the defendant or the wrongdoer is situated, or where the infringement has happened. So you need to chase the defender and file a case in the place where they are located. Orders of the city civil court is appealable, so it can be appealed to the district court in certain instances directly to the high court. And against orders of the high court, you can again challenge to the Supreme Court. So the process is time consuming. We have adequate appellate provisions. So overall, getting a final adjudication may take a few years or maybe a decade.
Okay, and all the more, I think experts like you are almost available for those companies for any, infringement or IP-related support. So thank you, Mr. Rajesh, for your wonderful explanation and for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for interacting with you. Thank you.
For the audience, Taiwan and India have signed an MOU on intellectual property right at a high-level India-Taiwan roundtable on May 18th of 2022. Under the framework of this MOU, apart from expert exchange programs and training courses, efforts are underway to facilitate the protection of traditional knowledge and set up a joint committee to coordinate the implementation of related cooperation activities. Further, to inform our audience, to promote Taiwan-India trade relations, the Ministry of Economic Affairs of Taiwan set up a Taiwan desk at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in India, aiming at updating Taiwanese investors on Indian business opportunities, helping them understand investment regulations, and providing necessary information as required. Further, Invest India, the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency of India, and Taiwan External Trade Development Council, that's TAITRA, under the aegis of Government of India and Taiwan, have Taiwan Plus, a one-stop shop for promoting, facilitating, and retaining Taiwanese investments in India. So with those informations, we have come to the conclusion of this short video. You can always reach out to us for any help with your business in India. So until we come up with another video with a new topic, stay safe and goodbye.